A powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake shakes eastern Cuba. Tremors felt as far as Jamaica. First tonight, Bahamians living abroad share their experience, prompting a new travel advisory from Foreign Affairs. Also, teen challenge director's son charged in a deadly conspiracy as prosecutors say he plotted his cousin's murder. And police linked 2 Sunday stabbings. One man dead, another attacked hours later. Officers making a decades-old caution to residents to find better conflict resolution. Then in Our News at 7:30, we'll tell you the tourism police officer jailed on a rape charge with an 18-year-old victim at the center of the case. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candido Knowles. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of eastern Cuba on Sunday, but its impact was felt miles away, including in Jamaica. Bahamians living there feeling tremors. Joshua Williams, who gets us started tonight, spoke with the Foreign Affairs Minister and Consular General in Jamaica following a travel advisory.
The impact of that 6.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Cuba's southeastern coast was felt across the Caribbean, with effects felt in Jamaica, Haiti, and some parts of Florida. It's another blow to the country that's still recovering from the impact of 2 hurricanes. In the aftermath, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a travel advisory for Bahamians in Cuba, encouraging them to follow all local instructions and take necessary precautions. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says he's in contact with embassy staff on the island.
The major impact seems to be, of course, the power's been off for a long period of time, and our students are adversely affected by that. I've asked them to make a check to make sure everybody's okay. So far, everyone's okay.
Jamaica was also impacted, with back-to-back quakes felt in the country as well yesterday. Alveda Knight, who heads the Consulate General in Kingston, Jamaica, says all Bahamians, specifically University of the West Indies students, are accounted for.
Nominal damage has been reported throughout the island. The students of the University of the West Indies had their usual evacuation drills implemented, so they finally went from drill to actualities. So they came out to the dormitories. The new students were understandably so frightened, especially the Bahamians who have never had an experience an earthquake before. My more senior students were familiar with the drills, familiar with what needed to take place.
In the past, we've supported countries that have suffered natural disasters. Over the years, Haiti, and just this year, the country of Grenada that was impacted by Hurricane Beryl. Mitchell says Cuba will receive support from the region.
The Caribbean and the CARICOM countries have been trying to lead an effort to try and provide food and support for Cuba because the political and economic embargo by the United States government has caused serious problems within Cuba for them to be able to sustain themselves. And these extreme weather events now have caused the situation to be even worse.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks for that, Josh. The son of Teen Challenge Executive Director Eric Fox is in custody after prosecutors accuse him of conspiring to commit murder. Garron Fox of Gambia Road appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, charged with conspiracy to murder Eddie Miller, who was ambushed and killed by masked gunmen outside a Cowpen Road shop in September. Prosecutors allege the 28-year-old conspired with his cousin Mitchell Fox, who was charged with both the murder and conspiracy last week. Both men are scheduled to return to court on April 10th to receive voluntary bills of indictment. Meanwhile, police have confirmed a connection between 2 violent incidents on Sunday. Early Sunday morning, a man was fatally stabbed outside his home on Hyler Street near Blue Hill Road. Hours later, around 8:30 a.m., police say a second man returned to his home on Hyler Street near Blue Hill Road, where he was attacked by a group of men. Chief Superintendent Kristen Skipping says police are investigating to determine what triggered this linked series of attacks.
The alleged suspect who was attacked on Sunday morning, that person has been released from hospital. I think there is something circulating on social media that indicates that he may have passed. That is not the case. And so we're actively investigating. We do have in custody 2 people in relation to the stabbing incident that occurred later in the morning at Hyler Street. And so we're actively investigating right now.
And Skipping shied away from revealing the exact connection, but cautioned residents to find better ways to resolve conflicts.
You've got to be able to talk through situations You will never see eye to eye with someone. You're always going to have an issue with someone. That is the way we are wired. I will never see things the way you see things. But we've got to the point where we can actually sit down and have healthy discussions and come to a resolution.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, including the story of a mother's heartbreaking loss leading to hope and a new assignment. And we're still following that earthquake out of Cuba, and we'll hear from residents in Jamaica who felt tremors from the 6.8 magnitude quake. But before we get to all that, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, that earthquake struck at 6.8, a 6.8 magnitude.
Significant.
I mean, obviously that's going to potentially have some kind of fallout for us weather-wise.
Not really weather-wise, but
Yeah.
We do get the alerts from the U.S. Geological Survey, and they send these alerts out. Also for tsunamis. So we would get in the office an alert that would tell us there was an earthquake nearby. And of course, Cuba, Jamaica, the Hispaniola, they sit right on a fault line. So
Yeah.
they are likely to get the earthquakes. And that actually occurs all the way around towards the Les Antilles. So it's a lot closer to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems
Yeah.
to be getting closer and closer. We
Folks
saw
in
the
Inalva,
devastation
yeah.
in Haiti in 2010, I believe.
We pray we don't get any of those really big earthquakes, because we could see some tsunami activity, but that one was pretty significant. Yeah. All right, let's get to the weather. 81 degrees is current temperature outside our studios. A few clouds. It's been pretty nice over the last couple of days. A little warm today. Southeast winds at 14 miles per hour, so we have a light breeze out there, but those winds expected to fall off. Feels like temperature is at 78. Temperatures around the islands right now: 79 in Freeport, Marsh Harbour, Abaco. We pick up 78 in Allenstown, Bimini. Nickel, San Andres, 80, 81 over in Great Harbor Key here in the capital, over in Governor's Harbour, 82. Central Bahamas, 82 in Kemps Bay. We pick up 80 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island, and Coburn Town, San Salvador, all at 81. And into the Southeast Bahamas, 83 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 81 in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, 82 there, 82 in Abrahams Bay, Providenciales, and Matthewtown, Inagua, Deep South. You have a temperature right now of 83. Satellite radar composite. We have a weak surface trough across the northwest Bahamas. It's a little bit of a line there that moves through Andros and the Berry Islands, as well as Abaco. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the Andros area. That surface trough will slide towards the southeast. Could bring us a couple of brief sprinkles across us, but there's a patch of weather, the tropical wave that's going to be moving into our neck of the woods. We're looking for some showers across the southeast Bahamas. National Hurricane Center watching that has a very high chance of formation, but it's going to stay well to the south of us. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. So look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, today in sports history, we revisit a career day on the field for the first Bahamian to play in the NFL.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Base Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want APBs, patrol cars, wanted posters, whatever it takes, and tell the public we got $10,000 for whoever could turn them into us.
Put the word out on the street. I got $20,000 right now for any man who could bring them to me. Go clean this up.
Right, Jeff? Let's head out.
When money's sick, but the mind coming. When money's sick, but the mind coming.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and a lot of people out there say they don't understand me. So I have Adelso here who's going to interpret everything I say. So you're going to watch Charlie Bahama from Cuba this week.
Van a ver el programa del show de Bahama, de Charlie Bahama desde Cuba.
And we're going to be going to Peñales, we're going to be going to Trinidad, we're going to be going all throughout Havana.
So van a verlo, fuimos a Viñales, a Trinidad y todo en La Habana.
On Cable Bahamas. Charlie Bahama Show.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. In 1974, every Bahamian milestone was a first for the country. The headlines were dominated by major achievements in the more popular sports like Adam Brister's World Series win, Elisha Obed's world title, but there was another first by a Bahamian in a sport just gaining popularity, the NFL. Ed Smith, the first Bahamian-born player in the NFL, had his best game of his pro career in Week 9 of the 1974 season. The Denver Broncos defensive end caught the only interception of his career in a 17-14 win over the Baltimore Colts at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Smith was one of 4 Broncos picks on the day. A Kodak All-American at Colorado College, he was selected by the Broncos in the 13th round of the 1973 draft, 319th overall. He played in only 5 games and spent most of the season on the inactive list as a rookie, and in year 2 he got 3 starts. In 1975, he was placed on the injured reserve list with a career-ending neck injury and retired in 1977. In 2009, Smith was inducted into the Bahamas National Sports Hall of Fame.
That was back then. Here's what's coming up in our sports tonight. Buddy Hield reaches another career milestone. Of course, it came on a 3. VJ Edgecombe stuffs the stat sheet for Baylor's first win of the season, and Coach Yo leads Ole Miss to the best defensive outing in school history.
We're playing a really tough schedule, you know that, and so for us, these are one of the games, I call them teaching games, where you have an opportunity to play a lot of people, work on certain things, and put ourselves in a situation where we feel good about ourselves with the film that we watch the following day.
That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as U.S. climate envoy John Podesta vows action despite Trump's return at this year's COP summit. Plus, a U.S. federal judge blocks Keep Families Together program, sparking outcry from immigration advocates. And Gary Conille is out as Haiti names a new prime minister amid its ongoing humanitarian and economic crises. The story when our news returns.
Officer Barry, Base Officer Barry, transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want APBs, patrol cars, wanted posters, whatever it takes, and tell the public we got $10,000 for whoever could turn them into us.
Put the word out on the street. I got $20,000 right now for any man who could bring them to me. Go clean this up.
Right, Jeff? Let's head out.
When money's sick, but the mind coming. When money's sick, but the mind coming.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services. So
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The U.S. climate envoy pledged continued dedication to tackling climate change despite political shifts in the United States. Speaking at the COP summit in Azerbaijan, U.S. climate envoy John Podesta expressed disappointment over Donald Trump's re-election, insisting climate change is real. Leaders from 200 nations are gathered to strategize on meeting the Paris Agreement's 1.5 degrees Celsius goal to curb global warming. The summit comes as the United Nations warns 2024 set to be the hottest year
While
on
the United
record.
States federal government under Donald Trump may put climate action on the back burner, The work to contain climate change is going to continue in the United States with commitment and passion and belief.
Meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has appointed Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Policy. Miller, who was central to Trump's controversial family separation policy in 2018, will shape key policies in the new administration. Now, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, he praised the choice, calling it another fantastic pick. Miller previously led America First Legal, challenging Biden administration policies on free speech and national security. Well, the New York Immigration Coalition criticized a federal court ruling blocking the Biden administration's Keep Families Together program aimed at allowing undocumented Caribbean and other immigrants married to U.S. citizens to stay with their families. Judge J. Campbell Barker ruled the program exceeded legal authority after 16 states, led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, challenged it. NYIC says the decision jeopardizes hundreds of thousands of families, urging the administration to appeal. Trump's recent election win has sparked further fears, with deportation of immigrants listed as his top priority for January. And a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Cuba on Sunday, with the epicenter located 25 miles south of Bartolomé Macao. Residents in cities like Santiago de Cuba felt the tremors, though no damage or injuries were immediately reported. The quake adds to Cuba's recent struggles following Hurricane Rafael's destruction last week, island-wide blackouts, and economic hardship that have fueled small protests. And Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council has appointed entrepreneur and a former Senate candidate to replace Gary Conille as the country's new prime minister on Monday. Rachel Judah has more.
Haiti's prime minister has been ousted after just 6 months in the role. The country's Transitional Presidential Council appointed entrepreneur and former Senate candidate Alix Didier Fils-Aimé to replace Gary Conille on Monday. The shake-up is the latest blow to political stability in the Caribbean nation, which is struggling through a severe security and humanitarian crisis. Armed gangs have gained control of most of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and have expanded to nearby regions, fueling hunger and forcing hundreds of thousands from their homes. Conille, who also briefly led the country over a decade ago, had been appointed in May in the hope of restoring stability. In a letter circulating on social media, Conille criticised the council, saying it only had the power to appoint a prime minister and not to dismiss one. In recent weeks, Conille has embarked on trips abroad to the United Arab Emirates and Kenya to seek security assistance. Although the UN has authorised an international force to help Haiti's police take back control from the gangs, the mission has been poorly resourced and produced scant results. The UN's World Food Programme said last month that the total number of displaced people in Haiti was now more than 700,000. WFP also said that roughly half the population, almost 5.5 million Haitians, are suffering from acute hunger, with pockets of famine-level hunger being reported among internally displaced people.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was November 11. Then in our news at 7:30, with a holiday crime crackdown in full swing, police say it's not just up to them. Civilians have a role too. We'll hear the police press liaison's advice for keeping yourself, your home, and your business safe this season. And the owner of a senior care facility under fire for acquiring a resident's home and benefits has returned the property to the family after public backlash. We'll have the latest on the investigation and what's next for the facility's management when Our News returns.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients, working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Based Officer Barry, based off.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1897, the Haynes Library in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, opened under the leadership of Governor William Frederick Haynes Smith. In 1918, the First World War ended, marking Armistice Day. Although far from the battlefields, Bahamians contributed by joining the British West Indies Regiment with the first recruits known as the Gallant 30. Over 486 Bahamians served, supporting the British Empire's efforts. November 11, 1967, the Bahamas Observer, which would later merge with the Nassau Guardian, discussed the issue of Bahamian independence, a topic that would go on to shape the nation's future independence in July 1973. And in 2019, thieves stole 12 pallets of food collected by Project Hope Caribbean for Hurricane Dorian relief. Bahamas Harvest Church, which facilitated the relief effort, appealed for the food's return, hoping it would reach those in need.
No condemnation. Again, I'm hoping that it was done out of need and not out of greed. And so whatever it is, if you have it, please distribute it to the persons that need it.
And more now on November 11th, which has been recognized by Commonwealth member states as Remembrance Day or Armistice Day for over 100 years. The date serves to remember the end of the First World War at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. This past Sunday, officials including Governor General Cynthia Pratt, Acting Prime Minister Glenys Hanna Martin, and representatives from the British Legion Bahamas branch gathered at the cenotaph for a wreath-laying and remembrance ceremony. Comrade Henry Kelman, the last remaining registered Bahamian World War II veteran still residing in the Bahamas, passed away this September. Still, the British Legion uses proceeds from poppy sales to help care for the remaining widows of Bahamian veterans. And after suffering the tragic loss of her daughter this year, Christina Burrows, along with a group of women, are starting a non-profit organization to assist women in similar situations and women with newborn babies. Favor's Assignment was formed in August and will assist mothers and newborn babies by providing food, medication, Pampers if necessary, and funding for procedures that parents may not be able to afford.
Eventually, with the funding from corporate Bahamas, with the funding and help from people like you and people like me and people like these women, we would like to be a part. We would like to take some of that burden off of the parents and help those babies to live as normal of a life as they can. We also formed a sisterhood and a community that supports mothers who have lost babies, because unfortunately it's a real thing and it's a real conversation that is hardly had.
Burrows calling on anyone who may have suffered the loss of a child like her and her team to reach out to Favor's Assignment on social media for support. The nonprofit recently held a fundraiser on R. Bailey Park and assisted many, but it doesn't end there.
So we have a car seat initiative that is officially going to be launched from November the 11th until January the 11th. And so what our intent is that people who have lightly used car seats, they can donate it, they can send it in, they can contact us either on Facebook by Favors Assignment at Facebook, okay? They can even send us an email at favorsassignment@gmail.com. They can contact me on my cell phone, which is 466-9799, or they can contact Mrs. Camille Clark as well with donating either the actual car seat itself, like I said, lightly used, or they can donate funds.
All right, one lucky Our News viewer will ride into the new year with a new vehicle. Thanks to the Ride Easy with Our News promotion. We've teamed up with Easy Car Sales to put one lucky winner in an all-electric BYD 2024 Yuan Pro SUV. And tonight, we're giving you a closer look at how the simplicity of servicing electric vehicles can keep your hard-earned money in your pocket when you make the switch.
We've told you about the environmental benefits of switching to electric vehicles that could help you reduce your carbon footprint by 5 metric tons per year. If the push for a greener planet isn't enticing enough for you, how about a greener wallet? There are multiple ways switching to electric helps save your hard-earned money. One of them is servicing. Service manager Spencer Roberts explains.
First of all, the vehicles only do once a year for servicing. Electric vehicles, they're pretty maintenance-free for the most part. During service, the first and foremost thing we do is a diagnostic scan of the vehicle. You're checking, hundreds of components in the vehicle with a single scan. However, we're looking at the main power battery to make sure all your cells are within the ranges of what they should be, temperature and voltage-wise. That's the main thing. Other than that, we do pretty standard stuff like suspension checks. We clean out your engine bay so everything's nice and pretty for the customer, change the wiper blades, air filters. You top fluids, but not that much fluids. Coolant needs to be changed, every probably 80,000 miles.
You're in and out in around 3 hours on average after the service and cleaning. Plus, the nature of the business means the service team is always growing and continuing their training.
This year alone, we put 250 cars on the road. So every year, we have to increase our staff at least by 15% to keep up with servicing the vehicles. So our techs are trained under BYD brand. That's the main brand we sell the most of. They're also trained under Jack Motors, as well as Geely. So our techs have actually been all over the world training, China, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Chile as well, actually. They've done training in all those countries.
One lucky Our News viewer will go into the new year with a new 2024 BYD Yuan Pro SUV. When asked his favorite thing about driving electric, Robert says,
Me personally is the feel of an electric vehicle. Once you drive one, it's just so smooth you can't really go back to gas. And the gas car almost feels like a tank after you drive an electric car.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks Marlena. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, remember you can visit ournews.bs and of course share your favorite stories right from Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Marlena Leonard in for Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Marlena, I know you've done the test drive already. What's your favorite part of the vehicle so far?
Ooh, it's really hard to pick one. I agree that it's totally, it's the smoothest ride,
yeah.
But I think it's also just that feeling of literally everything being at your fingertips, like the amount of options that you have on that touchpad.
Yeah, mind you, I could say that because I only sat in and got to play around with the gadgets inside.
I got back into my car.
That was really smooth.
I got back into my car and was like,
but
very jealous, very jealous.
You know what? People are also, I think, excited about how greener it will make your wallet.
Yes, that too. Environmentally friendly, skip the pump. I'm very jealous that it doesn't get to be me, but it could be you at home. It could be you. So remember, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to start your new year in style. This Boxing Day, you could drive away in a brand new all-electric BYD 2024 SUV. All you have to do is visit ournews.bs, click the Ride Easy with Our News banner, answer the latest question correctly, and you're entered to win. It's that easy. Good luck, but before you head over to our website, here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, another police officer facing sexual assault allegations. This just one of multiple recent cases where young women are alleging sexual assault at the hands of those meant to protect them. Meanwhile, as we approach the holiday season, police saying Bahamians are not doing enough to ensure they're not targets for criminals. Plus, the latest from Grand Bahama as the owner of a home away from home has been released from police custody pending an investigation. And hear from the Bahamian student studying in Jamaica who shares her experience of feeling the tremors from the 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Cuba on Sunday. All that and more when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
INTI Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Italia Hall. A police constable is behind bars on a rape accusation. Prosecutors say Julian Smith raped an 18-year-old woman on October 28th. Smith didn't have to enter a plea to the rape charge when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, and Smith is back in court on April 10th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Smith, who worked at the Tourism Police Unit, has been suspended from duty pending the outcome of the case. Now, this is just one of multiple recent cases where young women are alleging sexual assault at the hands of those meant to protect them. Just last month, 3 police officers and a party bus driver faced charges after a young woman was allegedly raped at a party. And in a separate case, a police superintendent was suspended from duty and is now being electronically monitored after being accused of raping a woman in a police car. Well, as police crack down on crime, the police press liaison officer says civilians need to do more to prevent themselves from becoming victims of crime. She also had tips for residents and businesses as we head into the holiday season. Berthany McDermott has her candid comments in this report.
Bahamians are not doing enough to ensure that they're not targeted. They're not. They're still very careless.
As Bahamians gear up for the holiday season, which often sees an uptick in crime, Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skipping says the only way civilians are victims of criminal attacks is when their guards are down. The Police Press Liaison adds that Bahamians often take additional protective measures when they travel abroad. She says that should constantly be the case.
As soon as you reach whatever destination you're going, every member of the family are looking out to see if they see anyone suspicious. Whenever they purchase their gifts and they get back to their hotels, everybody's, let's quickly get these things out of here. Let's quickly get into the hotel room. Less than 30 seconds, they are safe. What we see happening here is when people go to the malls or they shop, they come home, they stand in the front of their yards, they talk for a long period of time, they sit in their car conversing with whomever on their phone, and they're not paying attention.
Now, with the holiday season quickly approaching, Skippings is advising business people specifically to take the necessary precautions to remain safe.
Go to the station or contact the commanders of the station. Let them know that you want to make a deposit. Let the officers come to your establishment and escort you to the bank so that you can deposit your funds safely.
She says paying attention can minimize or prevent you from becoming a victim of crime. As for safety tips heading into the holiday season,
you're going to the malls, be on high alert. Do not leave any packages visible in your cars for people to be able to see. Do not be on your phone while you're coming out of the stores with all your grocery bags or all your gifts that you're purchasing. Do not travel with large sums of cash on you. When you're leaving the bank, conceal your cash.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
The owner of a home away from home, Murphy Knowles, has been released from police custody pending an investigation. That's according to officer in charge of the Northern Region, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles. A few weeks back, Philippa Carey shared how her mom, who lived in the home away from home facility, signed power of attorney over to Knowles, along with her home and national insurance benefits. Following protests and outcry on social media, Knowles returned the home to Carrie's family. Well, our regional neighbors had a shocking start to their Sunday when a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Cuba on Sunday. The quake adds to a string of challenges for the Caribbean region as natural disasters continue to disrupt life and travel plans. The epicenter of the earthquake was located about 25 miles south of Bartolomé Meso in Cuba. It affected not only the island, but also neighboring regions, including Jamaica. We caught up with a Bahamian student studying in Jamaica, Celeste Smith, who says she felt the tremors.
I was in my dorm room. I woke up about 30 minutes before, and when it happened, there was some construction going on outside, so I thought it was the construction, but I felt a bit unstable, and then I saw my fan shaking, and then the alarms went off, and everybody was in the hallways, and the phones are going off. Everybody was saying to evacuate the building, don't use the elevators, and everybody had to get out and everybody had to go to the assembly point.
Here in the Bahamas, we're no strangers to natural disasters. Smith says this was her first time experiencing an earthquake, but adds she used hurricane preparedness tips she learned back at home.
I was prepared. UE does a very good job at preparing their students for natural disasters like this by sending checklists every week. So I had a bag prepared for anything that could happen with my passport and any necessities, and just got out.
We have a lot more to get to tonight, but now it's time for your first look at weather. Meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us live in the Weather Center with the latest. Greg?
You gotta tell me about that car thing, you know, I wish I could win that car thing.
I wish I could too. I don't know if it's in the cards for us. Somebody's gonna get it.
We are not eligible, so yeah, but yeah. All right, 80 degrees current temperature right now outside our studios. We have a few clouds out there. Winds out of the east-southeast at 14 miles per hour. Your field strike temperature is at 78. Satellite and radar composite. We have a weak surface trough across the northwest Bahamas. You know, some showers across Andros into Abaco and well out there in the open Atlantic. That surface trough will weaken as it slides towards the southeast. And most of the showers are weakening as we speak. But we are watching this big blob of clouds and some showers down near the Hispaniola area. That's associated with an area that the National Hurricane Center will continue to monitor. Very high chance for that to form into something in the southwestern Caribbean. But it's going to stay to the south of us. And then we have a couple of fronts we expect. So we're looking for some cooler temperatures for the rest of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, a local economist weighs in on a recent study's findings that a middle-class family of 4 needs a monthly income of over $10,000. Hear what he has to say about how much of it comes down to choices. And you could be the winner of a BYD Yuan Pro SUV thanks to our Ride Easy with Our News promotion in collaboration with Easy Car Sales. Tonight, learn just how easy it is to service an electric vehicle. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
This holiday season, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to put you in a brand new electric ride.
Each week, tune into Our News at 7 and 7:30 for clues to questions about easy car sales, electric vehicles, and Generation E. Head over to our website, ournews.bs, for your chance to answer weekly trivia and enter to win.
It's simple. Answer correctly and you're automatically entered for your chance to win a brand new electric vehicle. With some rhythm. Here we go.
A recent University of the Bahamas study titled "How Much Does It Cost to Be Middle Class in the Bahamas?" calling attention to a growing struggle for middle-income families in the country, saying in part that a middle-class family of 4 needs a monthly income of over $10,000 to live comfortably in New Providence or Grand Bahama. Economist Edison Sumner says while he'd want to see details about the pool that was surveyed, the preliminary conclusion that the bar for the middle class has gone up raises concerns about economic parity and the buying power of the dollar in the country.
Because now, if it is $10,000 is considered middle class, that means that any family earning less than $10,000 is considered either upper lower class or just getting now back into the poor bracket. And if that is the case, then I think we've got more things in this country to be concerned about when it comes to the economic parity of families and people in this country. And it means then that the dollar that we earned before doesn't have the same value because it cannot purchase the same products it did before. And it means that individuals and families have to work even harder to increase their level of income in order just to meet basic needs.
Last week, Prime Minister Philip Davis said the cost of living was in part determined by one's choices. Sumner says while that's partially true, it makes life difficult when the choices are so limited or even monopolized in some areas.
We don't have a choice for example, in the power supplier. So we all have to work with BPL to buy power. We have limited choices in other utilities. There are only 2 telephone companies that we can select from. So the idea with choices is that we really don't have that many choices at all when it comes to certain services, and in many cases there are monopolies in services, so there's absolutely no choice in many cases in how we access services in the country.
The education system received a significant boost with the arrival of more than 40 new teachers across various subjects. Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell said as much on the sidelines of the Bahamas Public Schools Student of Distinction and Society's meet and greet ceremony. McCartney-Russell explained these new teachers address current teacher shortages and offer students greater access to specialized learning opportunities.
We've actually brought in, for example, 40-plus technical and vocational teachers. We've also brought in modern languages teachers, a slew of special program teachers or special disciplines. And so students will have access to more what we would call unconventional opportunities. For example, we have students who are engaged in coding. We have students now engaged in robotics. We have even marine science students who are participating in virtual reality. And so we're seeking to give them a more diverse, a more holistic education.
The education director added the teachers have provided great relief, particularly in the area of special education.
We would have brought in more than 20 of those, and they have really been a source of support for not just our children, providing academic personalized IEPs or individual education plans, but they have assisted with the assessment of students who, in terms of observation, may have some learning challenges. We've also brought in, as I indicated, more specialist teachers, and they are supporting the goal to provide holistic, quality education for all of our children.
Well, one lucky Our News viewer will go into the new year with a new ride thanks to the Ride Easy with Our News promotion, where we've teamed up with Easy Car Sales to put one lucky winner in an all-electric BYD 2024 Yuan Pro SUV. Tonight, we're giving you a closer look at how the simplicity of servicing electric vehicles can keep your hard-earned money in your pocket when you make the switch. We've told you about the environmental benefits of switching to electric vehicles that could help you reduce your carbon footprint by 5 metric tons per year. If the push for a greener planet isn't enticing enough for you, how about a greener wallet? There are multiple ways switching to electric helps save your hard-earned money. One of them is servicing. Service manager Spencer Roberts explains.
First of all, the vehicles only do once a year for servicing. Electric vehicles, they're pretty maintenance-free for the most part. During service, the first and foremost thing we do is a diagnostic scan of the vehicle. You're checking, hundreds of components in the vehicle with a single scan. However, we're looking at the main power battery to make sure all your cells are within the ranges of what they should be, temperature and voltage-wise. That's the main thing. Other than that, we do pretty standard stuff like suspension checks, We clean out your engine bay so everything's nice and pretty for the customer, change the wiper blades, air filters. You top fluids, but not that much fluids. Coolant needs to be changed, every probably 80,000 miles.
You're in and out in around 3 hours on average after the service and cleaning. Plus, the nature of the business means the service team is always growing and continuing their training.
This year alone, we put 250 cars on the road. So every year, we have to increase our staff at least by 15% to keep up with service in the vehicles. So our techs are trained under BYD brand. That's the main brand we sell the most of. They're also trained under Jack Motors, as well as Geely. So our techs have actually been all over the world training, China, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Chile as well, actually. They've done training in all those countries.
One lucky Our News viewer will go into the new year with a new 2024 BYD Yuan Pro SUV. When asked his favorite thing about driving electric, Robert says,
Me personally is the feel of an electric vehicle. Once you drive one, it's just so smooth you can't really go back to gas. And the gas car almost feels like a tank after you drive an electric car.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, the Ambassador reaches another career milestone in the Bay, plus the latest from a busy college hoops weekend on the court and on the sidelines.
And over 90 students from across the Bahamas becoming members of the Bahamas Public Schools Student of Distinction Society, formerly known as the Honor Society. We have the details when Our News returns.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
Inti Corporation is on the move. Day by day, panel by panel, our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Make that another career milestone, and Buddy Hield's start with the Golden State Warriors. Fitting that it came on a three-pointer and in the city where he rose to national prominence. Hield reached a 10,000-point milestone for his career with his three-pointer near the end of the third quarter in Golden State's 127-116 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma. The Warriors finished a difficult road trip with a 4-1 record with impressive wins over the then 7-1 Celtics and the 8-1 Thunder. A big part of the reason why they've surged to the top of the Western Conference standings at 8-2 has been Hield's shooting. He's averaging 18 points in just 25 minutes per game while shooting 50% from the field and 48% from beyond the arc.
BJ Edgecombe did it all for his number 12 Baylor Bears in their first win of the season. They won 72-64 over the number 16 Arkansas Razorbacks Saturday night at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. Edgecombe finished with 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, but it was a series of several pivotal plays down the stretch that had Scott Drude impressed with his freshman phenom. In the final minute, Edgecombe's offensive rebound led a pivotal second-chance scoring possession. He then drained a pair of free throws with 14.9 seconds to seal the win.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at VJ, a lot of freshmen, you want to hear they scored 30, but you look at VJ, he's got 8 rebounds, so almost a double-double there, 5 assists, 1 turnover against this pressure. And defensively, he was tremendous. So he's someone that impacts the game in every facet, and I like to describe him as a winner.
The focus isn't just on the court, but it's also a big college hoop season for Bahamian coaches on the sidelines. Coach Yo and number 20 ranked Ole Miss dominated Arkansas Pine Bluff 85-24 for its first win of the season Sunday at the SJB Pavilion in Mississippi. Ole Miss had their best defensive scoring performance in program history, with 24 points allowed being the fewest ever. It's become a trend in the Coach Yo era. In 2022, Ole Miss held Alabama A&M to just 28 points in another blowout win. Coach Yo's teams now hold 3 of the top 5 spots with the fewest points allowed in Ole Miss history. The 61 points also tied the 3rd widest win margin in program history.
And our defense is just really, we're building it and getting some good things off of it. So it's not hard because you just focus on the things that you need to focus on as far as playing our style of basketball, no matter what. We never looked at the score not one time. We just locked in and played our style.
Also in the SEC, Kentucky Wildcats assistant coach Mikhail McLean and the number 23 ranked Cats continued their success in the early stages of the Mark Pope era. Kentucky defeated Bucknell 176 Saturday at Rupp Arena in Kentucky. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. So what do the emojis mean? Is the whole Liberty team going to be at the parade or no?
Bring the whole squad, Junkanoo rush out.
We're ready for it. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, the details on how Bright Light Productions is hosting an evening of Bahamian films this Saturday at the Atlantis Theater. And another breezy fall day to start off our week, Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended weather forecast in just a minute. That's coming up when Our News returns.
NT Corporation is on the move. Day by day, panel by panel, our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, NT redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. NT is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as NT Corporation shines brighter than ever. NT Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
This holiday season, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to put you in a brand new electric ride.
Each week, tune into Our News at 7 and 7:30 for clues to questions about easy car sales, electric vehicles, and Generation E. Head over to our website, ournews.bs, for your chance to answer weekly trivia and enter to win.
It's simple. Answer correctly and you're automatically entered for your chance to win a brand new electric vehicle.
With some rhythm.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We have a couple of features in the Atlantic that we are watching. Cold front, well out there in the open Atlantic, that extends across the the Great Antilles and northern Leeward Islands into Hispaniola. And that's creating quite a bit of disturbed weather just to the south of Hispaniola. There's also a front to the north of us. We expect that front to slide in here sometime by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. But ahead of that, a weak surface trough across the northwest Bahamas will spark a few isolated showers, and those showers will be waning as this frontal boundary gets in here. That's the first of a series of front. We expect the second one to get near sometime by the weekend. That one will usher in some nice changes in the atmosphere. But this big blob, the National Hurricane Center is going to watch that very closely over the next couple of days. Very high chance for that. It should move into the southwest Caribbean, and most of the models take it into the Gulf of Mexico, so it's going to be following the path of the past system that we had out there in the open Atlantic. Future forecast showing that surface trough across our area, generating a few isolated showers. Most of those will be waning, as we mentioned. Then there's this weak frontal boundary that will drop into our area. Come Wednesday, high pressure will build behind that. We should see some breezy conditions, and then of course we expect another front boundary once again by Friday time frame. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas, caution flag for the boaters out there in the open Atlantic. High risk of rip currents still out there. Northeast to east winds at 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet near shore, but up to 6 feet offshore in some swells. Low tide at 9:50 to 90, high tide at 4 6 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, similarly, caution flag for you guys. Slightly stronger winds, east to southeast though, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but up to 6 feet offshore. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, nice conditions Tuesday, but the winds pick up again on Wednesday, so it's going to be a little breezy for the balance of the week. And then we expect that frontal boundary by the weekend. Check those temperatures for the weekend. We're looking at 81 degrees for Saturday, and those night temperatures will be at 70. So it's winter time. Good to get out and enjoy. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. I'm excited for those fall temps. Well, the Ministry of Education recognized over 90 students from across the Bahamas as members of the Bahamas Public Schools Student of Distinction Society, formerly known as the Honor Society. The ceremony was held Monday morning at the Ivy Dumont building. To join this golden cohort, students needed to achieve a minimum GPA of 3.5. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Glenys Hannah Martin, told the students to stay focused and become leaders of positive change for future generations.
This society is a recognition, but it's also a space. It's a space where we want you to feel you can come of your own and that it is limitless. The potentiality, the prospects are limitless. And I've been saying long before I came into this ministry that this country is going to produce a Nobel Prize winner in science and literature, in economics, and our schools, I told the country, our public schools are going to become the schools of choice in this nation.
These exemplary students hailing from 7 high schools in New Providence and 6 high schools across the Family Islands. We spoke to 2 of those recipients.
All of my hard work, all of the time I put inside of doing my work, getting all these grades, it's very rewarding, and I feel like it really is meant for me. And really and truly, if I didn't put in the effort, I wouldn't have been here.
Keep working hard because hard work pays off and it gives you greater opportunities. And also to have a good life-work balance, because mental health, that's also very important.
And finally tonight, Bright Light Productions is hosting an evening of Bahamian films this Saturday at the Atlantis Theater. If the name sounds familiar to you, it's because you've enjoyed both Broke Bosses and Struggles and Dreams right here on our TV channel 212. The first season of Struggles and Dreams is airing now, and the season finale will premiere at the event. Director and owner of Bright Light Productions, Janico Pratt, shares what it's like to see his hard work on television and how you can watch the finale.
Well, it's always a beautiful thing when you get your show to air on the great Our TV. So I always feel privileged to be able to have that done. Broke Bosses was the first thing we got shown on Our TV. Now it's Struggles and Dreams, and this show is near and dear to my heart. So to have it aired, it's just a beautiful feeling. And to be a part of it with my brothers, to be a big-time actor, to direct these talented folks is a beautiful feeling. The first 5 episodes aired on Our TV. The finale will be shown at Picture Greatness, an evening of Bahamian films at the Atlantis Theater.
As for Broke Bosses, Pratt told us what T and Duppy have been up to since the ending of the season 2 in these lost episodes.
So you know, season 2, T, my character, got locked up, and Duppy was upset, and then we go on MIA for a minute. So we wanted the people to sort of know T actually got out of jail. And these episodes, they intense because during that break when we hadn't shot a thing, our craft grew. We learned the camera a lot better. We learned better angles, our lighting. So we come up with these new episodes and it intense. TJ coming out of jail. Duffy as a whole, a big G in this one. So we do our thing with these lost episodes.
Now, before we go, here's an exciting reminder that Our News and Easy Car Sales are teaming up to give you the ultimate gift for the new year, a brand new all-electric BYD 2024 SUV. This Boxing Day, you could be the one driving into the future in an eco-friendly, high-performance ride. And entering is simple. Head over to ournews.bs and look for the Ride Easy with Our News banner. Answer the latest question correctly and you're automatically in the running for this incredible prize. Good luck and get ready to ride into 2025 in style with Our News and Easy Car Sales. Well, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard. Have a great evening and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Italia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.